Hi, I'm Charlotte Owens, and I'm going to talk to you about deciding between two very similar but different cell phones. Now, I know many people have the 2-year contracts that you get with your normal cell phone providers, and a lot of the time people want the newest thing. Right now, the newest things on the market are the Samsung Galaxy 3s, the iPhone 5s, the Android Razr Maxx HD, and the Android Razr HD, the Android Razr M, and a few other smartphones that don't necessarily fit into the categories with the Androids and the iPhones. I'm going to focus on the Razr Maxx HD and the iPhone 5. They are two very similar phones. The main difference between them is the battery life. The battery life of the iPhone 5 is roughly 8 to 10 hours. It's very much a commuter phone. By that I mean it's used for people with the 9 to 5 jobs or that are constantly on their phones and use it for when they're on the trains, not so much like as their job phone. Very differently though, the Android Maxx HD has a 21-hour continuous talk time, which means you don't have to plug your phone in for up to 21 hours if you're using it. Say you're talking on the phone for 21 hours straight. That's when you need to plug your phone in, is when those 21 hours or so are up. Otherwise, it's a 15.12 day standby time. I know you're questioning, like, why does this really matter? Well, choosing a battery life for a lot of people is a main reason why they choose a phone. Picture this. You are in the middle of a very big conversation, whether it be on a phone interview with someone, and you thought you had roughly 50% of your battery left. You look down 15 minutes into the conversation, you have 10% battery and it's going to die soon. Well, if you had just charged your iPhone that morning, you would have probably another 15 minutes on the phone. You just plugged in your Razr Maxx HD, you have probably another day on your phone. Just little things like that are a huge deal when it comes to it. Listed, I have the specs for each of the phone. They are very similar phones. It actually took me going into the Verizon store and talking to someone to figure out which phone would actually be more beneficial. It all actually just depends on whether or not you want the status phone. If your friends all have the iPhone, just to make it simpler for you that way, or whether or not you do want a functional phone that lasts for days at least, as well as a phone that can be dropped from about 10 feet into the ground and it won't shatter at all, as opposed to with, I know the iPhone 4S's, if you drop them from about 2 or 3 feet, you have the possibility of shattering your entire screen. So here is a list of the specs for each of the phone. I personally have a Droid Maxx HD. It's really thin. It has the cover on it right now, but it has the very new Kevlar Gorilla spec back on it. Other than that, that's really the only difference, is the battery life of the two phones. So when you're going in to actually pick out your new phones, just make sure you're reading up on what the phone has to offer, as opposed to just picking what you think is the coolest. That's an easy thing to do, but at the same time, you don't want the 14-day return guarantee to be gone and you're stuck with whatever phone you picked, and you're stuck with that for 2 years, unless you want to pay the $600 to end it. Thank you.